Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, everybody, Charles here, and welcome to another great show. Now, listen, I always bring you interesting guests. Now, today's guest, the show I titled, Why? The question is why? Why is she doing what she's doing? Why is she jumping into the tiger's nest? That's what I call it, the tiger's nest. But there's supposed to be a reason why. I always ask people, why do you do this? Why do you do that? I want to know why. And if you want to know why as well, stay tuned and please welcome my special guest to the show. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad you could join us.
Thanks. I'm really excited to be here. I've heard a lot about your show. Congratulations on all of your success. Really happy to be here.
Thank you so much. All right. So before we get into the why, and I didn't tell anybody what's the nest. I didn't tell anybody what the dragon's nest was because I want them to figure it out as we get into it. But here's the question, though. I want to know who you are. Born and raised. Let's get some background on you. Where are you from, born and raised?
Okay, I like that question. That's a great way to start. Who am I, this person jumping into the tiger's nest? My name is Andria Barrett. I am a Bramptonian, raised here, come from a great family, immigrant family. My parents both came from the Caribbean, Jamaica to be specific. I'm a speaker and a nutritionist. I work with people who have pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes. I unfortunately come from a family with a long history of type 2 diabetes. My grandmother had type 2 diabetes. My mother had type 2 diabetes, my father. So I'm sort of motivated and inspired to help anybody become better, learn what to do to get rid of diabetes in their family. And I'm also a speaker. So I work with, I have an organization called the Diversity Agency, where it's a speakers bureau. So we have speakers that will go out to different institutions and companies, and we talk about diversity, or we do keynote talks, and we try to help them reach the consumers using really inclusive and diverse language. I'm just your regular Bramptonian.
All right, so here we go. What was the little girl, though? What was the little girl growing up? What did she want to become? What did she want to do? Like, were you thinking about the stars? Were you thinking about the animals? What was the little girl thinking of becoming?
Oh, good question. So little Andria has a background in arts. So I went to a really great art school when I was younger called Claude Watson School for the Arts, and I was a dance major. So little Andria was a dancer. We used to go to the theater, we used to go to the ballet, we used to go to see musical theaters. I was in theater, traveled across the country performing for schools and churches and institutions, singing and dancing and just performing my heart out. That's what little Andria did. Loved theater.
I'm trying to picture. Was it like, was it the tutus? Was it the costumes? What was it?
It was a little bit of both. So we were a musical ensemble, and we would just go perform, and we were giving messages about saying no to drugs and anti-bullying and just doing your best. So we were reaching out to other students right across Canada. I have some really good memories of being in Manitoulin Island and in Timmins and in Sault Ste. Marie, really engaging with our peers at the time, so young people, just spreading really good, healthy messages. And then you say tutus. So yes, I was in a tutu or two. So performing, we would do ballet, we would do jazz, we would do tap, we would do all sorts of great, really great different types of dances and performances. And it was a lot of fun. I had a great time. And you talk about costumes, little known fact, I actually did wear a costume. One of my first jobs was working for Canada's Wonderland, which is now called Paramount Canada's Wonderland.
Okay.
And if you attended Wonderland and watched a show, or if you were ever in I think at the time it was called the children's area,
the kids zone. Kids zone,
yeah. Zone, right.
Yeah.
More than likely we've met without you knowing it was me.
Okay, hold on. Yeah. Let me go back now, because now I'm thinking there's a couple of costumes. Yeah. They used to walk around, high five all the kids. Yep. Were you one of those costumes?
I was one of those costumes. So
all right.
I was one of those costumes. I'll just leave it there. But I'll let you know my favorite costume. Smurfette was my favorite costume. So if you've ever seen Smurfette at Paramount Canada's Wonderland, it could have been me.
There you go. Okay, so growing up, Bramptonian, everything. now you're getting to the teenage years, and what was your dreams and aspirations at the teenage years, and what were you thinking? What was your focus?
Okay, so the teenage version of Andrea wanted to own hotels and nightclubs. I wanted to own lots of real estate and just the hospitality industry, just accommodate and serve and be hospitable. So that dream took me to study at the University of Guelph, where I studied hospitality. And truly, it was like, I'm going to own some nightclubs and I'm going to own some hotels because I thought, what an exciting, vibrant industry and a great business and something that every city or country needs. Tourism is really important.
Right.
Hospitality is what sort of gives you the signature of your city or your town or your locale. So that was the dream at that time.
All right. So now we're going, we're getting to know you a little bit more, getting into the future. Now, at an adult age, you talk about being a speaker. How did that become about?
I think it started with my family. I feel like I must be the loudest person at home. Everybody's kind of reserved and quiet. When it's time to ask a question or do something or go out there, I've just always gently been pushed and always like willingly want to step towards and do it. A little fearless, very happy to pick up a phone and speak to anyone or share a message if there's injustice or you need to advocate or if you have questions. I think it's important to speak up and let people know. So it started in that route, and because my passion for entertainment and performing, and then hospitality, and then moving into entrepreneurship. Very happy to start speaking and spreading the word. And as I'm sure you know this, Charles, once you start and somebody hears you, they're like intrigued, they're like, who is this? What is she talking about? Yeah. And then the ball gets rolling.
All right. So there's something I want to touch on because I think in our community, we don't really look at it as like, food intake, the sugar we have. You talked about that earlier. Can you touch on that a little bit more?
Absolutely. And this, I could turn this into a 4-hour show because I love to talk about food, but I won't. So seriously and truly, type 2 diabetes is really, really important to me. And it's personal. As I mentioned, my grandmother had type 2 diabetes, my mother and my father. I remember being little and, grandma would send you to the fridge to go get her insulin. And you don't really understand, but you do whatever grandma says to do. You go get the insulin and you see her lift up her shirt. She takes her needle and she just jabs herself in her thigh or in her waist, because she needs insulin and you don't really understand why. And then you see the same thing happen to your mom. And then you see the doctor say your diet needs to change. And Caribbean people, we slowly saw aspects of our diet change, and for the better. So basically, type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes means you have too much blood in your sugar. Or too much sugar in your blood.
In your blood, yeah.
Yeah, too much sugar in your blood. So we need to have a stable amount. Sugar or glucose keeps us active and alive and vibrant and gives us energy to work out and think. Your brain and your body need glucose, but we don't need too much. We need to be balanced. When you have too much, it can affect your eyesight, it can affect your kidneys, it can affect your sexual function, it can affect your heart, and it can affect the quality of your life. So my mission is to help people reduce the amount of sugar that they consume. And there's a misconception that you're just thinking about refined white sugar instead of, 4 teaspoons in your coffee, you're cutting back to 2. It's not just that. It's pasta, it's bagels, it's muffins, it's the type of flour you're using. It's sometimes the medication you're on. It is sometimes not even food related. It is how much sleep you're getting or when you're getting sleep or stress. It can be a lot, but I teach people to make small changes. Small changes can yield huge results and help you lower the amount of blood sugar so you can have a healthy, happy life.
My whole diet, I just everything you mentioned, my whole diet just crashed right there.
Listen, there are healthy options. I have a sweet tooth.
You said no bagel, that went out the window. No, that's like a tear started to come down my face. I was like,
No, you can still have pasta and you can still have pizza. You can still have yam, banana, boiled dumpling. You can still have all that good stuff.
Okay, we're back.
You just can't have any hardo bread. I draw the line there. I draw the line on hardo bread and condensed milk.
The show's over. That's it. Half the people just left. All right. So listen, you have a great career. You're doing wonderful things. Everything is great. But this is where we came to what I said, the lion's den. Tell everybody what's your next step in your life.
Well, my next step is to run to be the MPP in Brampton South. So most people know that I do live in Brampton. There is an election coming, a provincial election on June 2nd of 2022, and I've thrown my hat in the ring to be the NDP MPP candidate for Brampton South. So that's
All right. Well, congratulations. Now, here's the question, because this is what I said in the beginning. Why? Why go into the Lions Den? Why, this is not an easy race. It's not like back in the days in high school where we went for class president and, you had your friends in this. This is a whole new beast. Explain to everybody why you decided to jump in.
very good question. The big why. So I'm up for a challenge, and being on the sidelines, if we see something going on that we don't like, we can talk about it with amongst our friends and family, or we can step out there, be brave, be bold, and try to make a change. So again, Bramptonians, we know that we've been one of the hardest hit cities during the pandemic. And as I mentioned, I come from a family full of, or no, maybe I didn't mention this. I come from a family full of healthcare workers. My mom is a retired PSW. My sister is a nurse. My aunt on my mom's side is a PSW. I have several aunts on my dad's side that are in healthcare. I have seen what has happened in our healthcare system, and it's saddening. It makes me very, very sad. I've driven to different nursing homes, different long-term care facilities when taking my mom to work, or my sister or my aunt. You see what happens there. You hear the stories. It is tragic, the amount of lives that were lost in long-term care. So I feel that personally. My father, unfortunately, was in the hospital during the pandemic, and because of the lockdowns and all of the restrictions, we didn't get to spend a lot of time with him. So that's something that always sits with me. We didn't get to spend a lot of time with him. So he spent some of his final days in a hospital in Brampton. He didn't get to eat the food he likes to eat. He didn't get, we weren't there holding his hand as much as we wanted to. It's personal. It's personal to me. And as someone who champions and advocates for entrepreneurs, small business, and female entrepreneurs, the pandemic has been devastating. And I don't know if we had as much help as we could have had. Brampton is a beautiful city. Ontario is a fantastic province. We can just tweak it a little bit. So I want to be the one to go out there and tweak it. I want to work with families. I want to work with seniors. I want to help essential service workers. I want to do what I can to make things a better place.
All right. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come right back and dive right into what you talked about, the healthcare, what you can do, and how we need to get out there and vote, and why we need to vote is so important. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. CMJ Entertainment is a one-stop shop. CMJ Entertainment helps people do any type of events, and it's a marketing tool as well. So we'll cover everything from start to finish. If it's a wedding, we'll make sure your wedding is over the top. And if it's an event, we make sure that everybody gets information at the end of the day. Give us a call at 416-414-8964 or online, go to cmjent.com. Yeah. Yes, we're back live, and thank you so much for joining us. And we were just talking about, the Lions race, how to jump in, and, you're so passionate about the healthcare and everything else. It's what's the first steps? You jumped in. We know that the political race is he say, she say, and all these things. What do you want to change? What's the first thing if you get elected that you want to change?
So I have a heart for essential service workers, and I'm a little biased. Anybody who works in healthcare. So PSWs, nurses, anyone who supports any employee in a hospital or in a long-term care, I would like to do whatever we can to do to support them. So we're always asking, the NDP is asking for more paid sick leave. It is so important that we don't burn out these nurses. I hear the stories from, my family. There are people who've left the profession. So we already have a shortage of nurses and people who want to take care of our loved ones. They're gone. They have left the profession. They're burnt out. They're stressed. So anything we can do to support and nurture this industry is so very important. And as many supports that we can offer to new business owners or small business owners. When I walk down Main Street in Brampton, sometimes you have to blink twice. Where did this business go? And then your heart breaks because they didn't make it. They either didn't receive enough of the financial supports that they could, or they weren't able to transition and pivot fast enough or appropriately to maintain their revenues. And behind every business is a person and a family. There are mortgages, there are kids, there's daycare fees, there's retirement. So it's important that we always remember the person behind the business or behind the job title, and that we make sure that everybody is okay.
All right. And why is it so important for you now to go into the race?
Because it's time. Again, just we can be on the outside looking in and making comments and saying, I would do that, or why are we doing this? It's, putting my name out there, putting my just getting out there, being bold and courageous and just going for it. Learning how politics works, which is interesting. I'm learning how it all works now, and just speaking to a lot of people. So what we do is we go door knocking. So we go canvassing. So I've been in and around Brampton, knocking on people's doors. Some people, if there are a lot of people in Brampton watching, some of you may have seen me coming up the street, knocking on your door, asking questions. And people, they just want to talk. They want to tell you their pandemic story, or they want to tell you how they're struggling, or, what changes needs to happen. I remember knocking on someone's door, and her biggest issue was housing. She had 2 adult children living at home, and she feared that they're never going to move out. It's unaffordable for first-time home buyers or young people to purchase a home right now in Brampton or in most parts of Ontario. And these are, adults, educated, have a job. It's hard for them to do that. Then you're knocking on other doors and you're hearing people talk about they didn't get enough support as a business owner, and they're looking for help. They're looking for guidance on what they can do because they need to stay in business. This is how they support their family. This is how they take care of their loved ones. You knock on some other doors and they're talking about healthcare. There's a waiting list to get a home care. If you need a nurse to come into your home to take care of a loved one, there is a waiting list. So there are a lot of concerns and a lot of questions that people have. And so, furiously taking notes and finding out what we can do to help and to advocate. Everyone needs a voice, and everyone needs an opportunity to be heard and have someone champion and advocate for them.
All right. Now, you could have joined any party. Okay. The focus and stuff. Why? Why this party? What did you see and you go, yes, this is the direction. This is them. Why?
There's a couple of reasons. This party, to me, reflects what Ontario looks like. We are a diverse and multicultural province. And I believe the people that represent us should also be diverse and multicultural. And I really believe in people first. This party advocates for people first. This party is also the only provincial party that has a Black caucus. Now, I don't know if a lot of people know that, but having a Black caucus to me is important. So there are people, part of the legislature, that understand the needs of the Black community, and that is more important than ever right now. So I like that if you have an issue, they'll understand. They will be able to point you in the right direction, and they will take you seriously. I also believe in the leader, and I believe in the other members of provincial parliament that have been there working, advocating behind the scenes. It's when I look on some people's social media accounts, or I'm watching the news, and you're seeing people advocating and standing up and talking about healthcare, talking about dental care, talking about making sure everyone feels treated equally and is being supported. It reassures me that I'm in the right place.
Okay. So here, if you want some more information, website is right here. You can go online. There's the information and take a look. Always follow, see what's happening, what's going on, what's new, and it's right there. And you can get all the information you need, the date, the time, and when's the important date? When do we need to head out?
So the election is in June. June 2nd, 2022, which seems like a long, long time away. Trust me, it isn't. And I'm glad that, we're starting to have these conversations now, because one issue that comes up a lot is that a lot of people don't go out and vote. Either they're not up to date on what the issues are, or they feel like their vote doesn't matter. I am here to tell you that you matter and your vote matters. It's important that people get out there and be heard. And it's important that you're heard even before the election. Whoever is running in your area or your current MPP, reach out to them, ask questions. If you have an issue or a concern, that's their job. That's what they need to do. I have people already reaching out to me, asking me questions. I've had, surprisingly, 2 different organizations reach out about people who had immigration issues because they don't know where to turn. And I love to help. It's a matter of picking up a phone call and connecting the dots. So I'm a dot connector. You have an issue and you don't know where to go. Is immigration provincial? Is it federal? I can help you navigate and connect the dots. Or you have an issue or questions on how do I do this, or where do I go do this, or what kind of funding can I apply for? I like being able to connect the dots and point people in the right direction. But the message here is that people need to get engaged. Don't just get engaged during the election. Reach out to the people who are currently working for you in your area, provincially, municipally, or federally. Ask questions. These people are working for you. Ask questions. Let them know what you need.
All right. It's time to get to know you a little bit more. It's time for rapid fire. So what we're going to do is ask you questions. You got to pick A, B, C, or D. And then we're just going to ask you questions, and first thing that pops into your head, and you can explain a little bit, but we got rapid fire. We got 2 minutes on the clock. So give me A, B, C, or D.
D.
Oh, first one to ever pick D so far. I love it. Okay, here we go. Ready? All right, let's get it going. Here we go. First question: if you could be any animal, what would you be and why?
Koala bear. They're cuddly. They're cute. They're very friendly. They're friendly. I'm a koala bear.
All right. What's the weirdest thing you ever like to eat?
The weirdest thing back in the day, it was condensed milk on hardo bread. That's why nobody should eat that now. Nobody.
I get it now. I get it. Okay. Describe yourself in 5 words.
Outgoing, family oriented, extrovert, curious, and helpful.
There you go. Now, what's the one thing that you want to teach the kids?
I want to teach self-confidence. Self-confidence is very attractive and is what people can see it when it comes out of you. I see a lot of kids that are just kind of meek and inward. They need to shoulders back, chest up, believe in themselves. I can do it.
There you go. What's your favorite childhood memory?
My mom and my sister rolling roti in the kitchen. Maybe I was about 8.
There you go. That's my favorite one with my grandmother as well. I like that one. All right. What's one thing that you like to do? What's your favorite thing you like to do?
What do I like to do? So I like to dance. And I love food festivals. If there's a food festival, I'm there. I'm at a food festival.
All right. What's your favorite flower?
I like orchids.
Okay, from a 1 to 10, how good are you at keeping a good secret?
Oh no, I'm a 10.
Done. There you go. What's your best feature?
I think it's my attitude.
All right, and last question: when are you happiest?
When am I happy? You know what? I am happiest in the sun. So in the summer, in the backyard on a lounge chair and the sun just on my skin. That is me feeling good. Lounge chair, beach, just sunshine.
There you go. And you made it through rapid fire. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So here it is. You said Brampton South, right? Can you explain to everybody exactly from what area to what area is you're going to be covering?
Sure. So most people aren't aware that Brampton is broken down into 5 different areas. So Brampton North, South, East, West, and Brampton Center. So the area that I'm running in, Brampton South, think of it this way. Here are my landmarks. Shoppers World. So that's Kennedy or Steeles and Huron, Ontario. So the Shoppers World area up to Maple Lodge Farms, up in that part, up to Williams Parkway and McLaughlin, up to Kennedy and Queen. So here my landmarks are Tennell's, if anyone knows where Tennell's Patty is, or Jim's,
Okay.
right? Down to the LA Fitness. So I work out at the LA Fitness at Kennedy and Steeles.
Okay.
Shoppers World, Seneca College, or sorry, Sheridan College,
Yeah.
Maple Lodge Farm. Those are my landmarks, right? The gym, the college, Maple Lodge Farms, Tennell's, and Jim.
Half my viewers just went, oh, okay, yeah, I know where you're going. I know where it is now. All right. And don't forget, June 2nd, 2022. That's the special date.
That's the special date. But there is another date before that date.
All
that
right.
other date. Actually, there are several other dates. So I encourage people to stay in touch with me. So follow me on social media, connect with me on my website, or send me an email, because from now until the election, there are all sorts of things happening. So there's opportunities for you to come out and meet with me, either at a formal event, or you just send me a message. We can have virtual coffee, or eventually we can have real coffee, but there are a lot of events. What a lot of
All right.
a lot of people don't know is leading up to an election, there's a lot to do. So there's door knocking, there's canvassing. As candidates, we're always looking for volunteers. So people who want to help join the team to help spread the message. And there's fundraising. Campaigns are expensive. Thousands of dollars goes into a campaign. You're buying signs, you are feeding your volunteers, you're hiring a campaign manager, you're paying for office space. So from now until the election, there are lots of different fundraising events happening, and an opportunity for us to connect if anyone wants to learn more about me, or come to one of my fundraising events.
All right. So don't forget to send her an email. There you go. You can send her an email to get more information. And not only that, go to the website. The website will have all the information of what's happening, where to go, special events. Everything is right there. All right. It's time to do one more thing just to get you to know you better before we let you go.
Now time for Pick 3.
It's now time for pick 3. 3 numbers between 1 and 10. And I'm going to ask you those questions before we go. Give me 3 numbers between 1 and 10.
7, 9, and 10.
7, 9, and 10. Okay, so here's a quick question. What myth about your industry do you want to squash? What myth? It could be about you running now. What myth do you want the people to know about elections and stuff that you want to squash?
The myth is that only certain people can do it. There are no certain people. Anyone can do this. If you are watching now and you are passionate about changes in your city, your town, your province, the country, the myth is that it's only for those people. There are no those people. You can do it. If you want to be a school board trustee, you want to be mayor, you want.
All right, we just lost your.
Yep.
Sorry.
I was just saying that's the myth. Anybody can do this.
Okay, there we go. Lost your feed first. So 7, 9, and 10. Where can listeners find you? So they're like, something, we want to connect with you on LinkedIn or Facebook. Where can they find you? Because they're like, something, we want to support. We want to jump on and help you support. Where can they find you?
They can find me a few different places. So if you happen to be in Brampton this Saturday, we're going skating. There's a great roller skating rink in Brampton called Rollerplex. I'm having skate night there. You can find me there this Saturday. It's .com. If you want to get a hold of me, you want to have virtual coffee. I love coffee. If there was a question about what's your favorite hot beverage, it's coffee. I'm a coffee girl. Take me out for coffee, and I will take you out for coffee. Send me an email or follow me on social media. My handle is Miss Andria Barrett, MS Andria with an I, Barrett, BARRETT. Those are the best ways to find me. So this Saturday skating, skate with Andria. Generally coffee. Let's have coffee. And email.
Okay. Last question. Name 2 people, past or present, that you would love to shadow.
Ooh, I would love to shadow Oprah Winfrey
Okay.
and Michelle Obama.
Why those 2?
Oprah, because I love a rags to riches story. Those are my favorite stories, that people who, look like they didn't come from much or come from anything and just ascended to the top. I love those stories. And I love Oprah. I love what she's done. I love what she's brought to the world and how generous and giving she is. She's opened schools in South Africa or on the continent of Africa. And then Michelle Obama, her perspective, seeing what she's seen as a mother, as a wife, as a partner, as a lawyer, I admire her style and her grace and the way she carries herself. Those are 2 of my favorite people.
All right. Now, before we let you go, I want to ask you one question.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you can go back in time to the little Andria in the tutu, what would you tell her?
I would say, those are the wrong shade of pink tights, Andria. Go find some pink tights. Where'd you bought those tights? That's a whole other story. Why little black girls didn't have pink tights that reflected their skin color. Whole other story. What would I tell that little Andria? I would tell her, just take it all in. Enjoy every single day. It's a journey. Sometimes we don't understand the twists and turns that life takes. Like, why did you go to this school? Why did you work here? Why did you do this? It's to get you where you need to be. So just enjoy the journey. Take it one day at a time and enjoy the journey.
There you go. Now, listen, ladies and gentlemen, it's your opportunity to vote. It's your opportunity to make a change. Okay. Get information. And here's what I always tell you. Get to know the candidates. You'll never know if you don't get to know them. She said it many times. Coffee, virtual coffee, Zoom meeting. Call and say, listen, I saw you on the show. I just want to get to know. I know you're in the running. You're doing a platform. Just want to know you a couple of questions. I'm having these issues. What do you feel about this issues? What do you feel about this platform? What do you think that's going to change? What does Brampton need? Ask the questions. Okay. This is just a starter. I can only ask so many questions out there. Your job is to find out all the questions before you go out and vote. And there's the day, June 2nd, 2022. Make sure you get out and vote. Put your name down and make sure you make the change for Brampton. All right. Now, before we go, I'm going to leave the last word to you. What's the one thing you want to tell everybody listening right now?
Well, I'm going to tell them 2. 1, we're going skating this Saturday. And if you live in Brampton, I hope you can make it. We're going to Rollerplex. It's a fundraising skate night. www.skatewithandria.com. And 2, if you're supporting me or at the local candidate in your area, let them know. Reach out. We need help with donations. We need volunteers. And we want to know the issues that are important to you. We advocate on your behalf. Your politician really works for you. So those are my 2 messages. I hope to see you skating. Reach out. Don't be afraid to reach out on social media, email, or pick up the phone and call them at their office. They work for you.
All right. Like everybody, thank you so much. Like I always say, you didn't have to watch, but I'm glad that you did. And tell somebody to vote, get out there, and look, we got somebody in the race. You should get to know them. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Charles.
It's come to an end, but the fun doesn't have to stop here. If you have any questions, suggestions, or feedback, head over right now to Twitter and Facebook and like, share, and get involved. Join us next time.
Please be advised that this podcast is meant for educational and informational purposes only and is in no way a replacement for legal or medical advice. The opinions contained within are solely those of the interviewers and interviewees and should be received as so. Those seeking help or advice are encouraged to obtain professional legal and medical services.